Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AI in 15, day 11. Christmas getting inexorably closer. This is the place where we do a task every morning with AI in 15 minutes. So by New Year, you're going to be fully up to speed and kickstart the new year. My name is Matthew Kershaw, 20 years plus in content marketing, digital media, 6 years in the AI space around generative AI. And I help businesses get on board with AI, use it safely, help their people use it safely and practically, and build roadmaps towards speed, quality, and of course, reduce cost. But as I always say, you don't want to hear me about me. You want to hear about today's topic, which is AI voiceover, or I guess any spoken word. And I'm going to do a bit of a tricky thing today, more risky thing, which is do it all live pretty much. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to show you how to generate realistic spoken word in multiple languages. In this case, to do a sort of voiceover for an advert, but actually you could use it in any place where you need spoken word. So that could be audiobooks or other things. So this space is sort of what they call it text to speech, or TTS might be the jargon that you see around. It's quite a busy space, quite a few startups in this space. And there's a couple of, Microsoft and Amazon, AWS have very, very long established and well, lots, hundreds and hundreds of languages and dialects within those languages. These ones aren't necessarily the most natural sounding. They sound a bit wooden. The innovation is all happening on this side. But there is one company above all, which is sort of stands head and shoulders in this above everyone in this space, which is 11 Labs. And they know they call themselves the most realistic voice AI platform. Um, I think you could maybe argue with that, but for sure they have an incredibly robust, good system with a lot of voices and a lot of languages, and you'll see they do sound pretty realistic, especially with a few of the tweaks I'm going to show you. Um, when you use some of these other tools like Veed, HeyGen, Twilio, DID, when you will often have a choice to use voice within those apps. A lot of the time, that will be an 11 Labs voice. So they've partnered and they have these APIs with all these other companies. Um, and of course, if you've ever recorded voice, it's a bit of a pain. You got your script, you then got to find your talent, you've got to find them somehow, you've got to negotiate with them, you've got to book a studio and schedule a recording session, you've got to kind of be there while the recording's happening. And then, of course, there's all the post-production. Now, it's true that if you use something like Fiverr, you can get rid of like one, you don't have to book a studio, they'll use their own studio. But nevertheless, all these steps have to be gone through, and it's a bit of a pain and it takes time. It's problematic. So, of course, AI can do it in an instant. Let's imagine a world in which there's such a product as Tesco Finest Bath Crisps. What a ridiculous idea, but nevertheless one that keeps haunting my imagination. And I've got a script here, not the most amazing idea in the world, but I'll read it through. Camera is low, focused on the bottom of the bathroom door. Shadows of feet run past. We cut inside. Oh, there's muffled chaos. A phone is ringing. A distant shout. Mum, have you seen my? We cut inside. Warm amber lighting, steam rising. The lock on the door clicks shut, and you hear the heavy click of the lock. The chaos instantly cuts out. Complete silence. Only the settling of water. A wooden bath caddy bridges the tub. On it, a glass of red wine, a dry face towel, an elegant ceramic bowl filled with Tesco Finest crisps. A hand reaches out, picks up a crinkle cut crisp and lifts it. Um, Meanwhile, the voiceover is saying some sounds are stressful, others are a symphony. Extreme close up. She takes a bite. We cut to her face, closed, leaning back in the bubbles, a look of pure selfish bliss. Voiceover, an incredible loud, slow motion, satisfying crunch. Sorry, that's the sound effect. And then the voiceover, tangy Chardonnay vinegar, the perfect sea salt shatter. Officially too loud to hear anyone calling your name. Tesco, finest. Every little helps. So, not the most amazing idea, but gets the idea across. So all I've done is take out of that what all the different audio bits. So we're now the audio producers for this ad. And I'm going to focus on voice two, which is sort of the main voiceover. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to go to, from home, there's sort of lots and lots of different things you can do, including sound effects, changing an existing voice, various other bits and pieces. But let's go to text to speech now, TTS as they call it. And I'm going to take my text. which is the that voiceover. I'm going to put it here. And then we need to find a voice, the right voice for this. So I'm going to go into voices. I'm going to search the library. I'm going to actually just do a filter first of all. I'm going to do a filter by choose language English, and I'm going to choose British English. Obviously, it's a British brand. We need them to be British. So, and I'm going to go female voices. So having done that, I'll apply my filters, and this will now give you a list of all the different voices. You know, there's tons of them, hundreds, I think, just to this filter, you know, with all these filters. So let's listen to a couple of these. Tell me if you can't hear this. I'm going to click on it.
I'll smile. You'll fall.
Okay, that is definitely not what we
And by the
want.
time you realize.
So let's have that. Let's keep going. Um, so I've already imagine you've gone through, you've sort of done a selection. There's, you know, what do we have here? Young British girls could be maybe
I can't believe you would risk our necks like that. You nearly were the end of us.
that might be the mum. Have you seen my phone? That could be that voice. So I've already gone and chosen some voices. So my text to speech, I can choose from my existing voice set here, some other ones. So I thought Olivia was quite good. Let's generate some speech. So this is Olivia saying these words. It's very, very quick. It takes, yeah, literally you can see here.
Some sounds are stressful, others are a symphony. Tangy Chardonnay vinegar, the perfect sea salt shatter. Officially too loud to hear anyone calling your name.
American, I don't know why. So let's try another voice. Let's go for Charmian, soft and husky. Let's generate speech.
Some sounds are stressful, others are a symphony. Tangy Chardonnay vinegar, the perfect sea salt shatter. Officially too loud to hear anyone calling your name.
So I quite like that. I think that's pretty good, but I'm feeling like it's a bit flat. It's a bit same all the way through. So what I'm going to do is show you a little trick you can do in 11 Labs, which is if you can put directions basically in square brackets, and it kind of puts these little tags in. So if you just, so let's hear that same thing again. So I put others are, I want this to be bright, symphony, and I want the tangy Chardonnay vinegar to be thoughtful, and I want her to say so you can get them to do little sort of voice effects, you know, giggle and or whatever. And I want her to laugh the last line because officially too loud to hear anyone call your name obviously is a bit of a joke. So let's give that a go.
Some sounds are stressful, others are a symphony. Tangy Chardonnay vinegar, the perfect sea salt shatter. Officially too loud to hear anyone calling your name.
So you might, I think that's pretty good. I think if we stayed here for another 30 minutes and played around with different voices and different directions, we could get to, you know, that's maybe, I think that's maybe 70, 80% there. I think we could get to 95, 100% maybe even if we were lucky, just by mucking around a bit. So, but you get the idea. And, you know, these are incredibly realistic now. This is not your kind of Stephen Hawking era of voices anymore. They're just incredibly realistic. Now, I'm going to show you something a little bit different as well, which is we now go, oh, actually, Tesco, you know, has branches now in France and Spain. So they need to also dub this into French and Spanish. So, and that multiplies our problems because trying to find, you know, French talent and Spanish talent when you don't necessarily speak French or Spanish is even more difficult. So this is this is the little hack. So I'm going to go to what's that website called? DeepL, DEEPL, and I'm going to actually take this one. I'm going to cut and paste my thing in here, and I've got it translating into Spanish. Yeah, so it's instantly translated. DeepL is a bit better. It doesn't have the range of languages of Google Translate, which is the most popular one, but it does do a better job. Like if you're a language student, you'll probably use DeepL. The other thing I would say here is that you do always need to check any translations with someone local. So especially when you're using quite kind of advertising language, might be a bit what's the word? Slangy or particular to a particular kind of language. So I have taken that Spanish. Now you might think, well, I need to now find a Spanish voice instead of chiming. I need to go back through that process of filtering by Spanish voices. But I'm going to try this without it and see where we get to.
Algunos sonidos son estresantes.
Just pause it there for a second. I just need to catch up a little bit.
Otros son una sinfonía. Vinagre chardonnay ácido. La sal marina perfecta. Oficialmente demasiado ruidoso como para oír a alguien llamándote.
Now, I don't speak Spanish, so I can't really comment, but to my ears,
South American, not Spanish, for a start.
Sorry?
She's South American, not Spanish.
Okay, that's interesting. So you might want to go back and find a Spanish voice. Thank you, Hugo. That's really useful, actually. Which I think shows up. So it does show up. One of the shortcomings of this thing is that obviously anytime you're translating to another language, you do need to really understand those dialects and that voice. But still quicker and easier than doing it the traditional way. So, or would give you, if you were doing it the traditional way, might also give you a guide for that person to follow. This is how I want it. So lots and lots of different uses. Now, I think we've got a couple of minutes. I'm going to show you just one last thing, which they also have this sound effects thing here. So I'm going to take one of the sound effects, which was an incredibly loud, slow motion, satisfying crunch. And I'm going to try and generate this, see where we get to. Did I let go? No, I didn't. Oh, here we go. Okay. So let's listen to this. A bit wet and, well, that's a bit weird. Not brilliant in this case. Let's try and hear these ones. I think the slow motion might be saying it then. Let's change it to, so this is like a bit of the evolve. You have to keep kind of iterating a little bit to get what you want. I think it's just give it a second. Here we go. Okay, much better. So I think, yeah, you can see that they're pretty good. I reckon if we did that and went another couple of times around, we'd get to a really good solid crunch. So that is voice, using AI to do voice. Let me know if you have any questions. Are you leaving all the sessions up in perpetuity? Yes, yeah, I probably will. I might take them down at some point, but I can say they'll definitely be up for January at least. So that's it. Done the demo. Tomorrow, in fact, this week we've got 3 in a row of special guests. Tomorrow we've got Yang Wong, who's going to show us. We've seen image production. Yang will show you a way to do image production at real scale and not using any fancy tools or techie code. It's just really, he's using all just Google Sheets and various other bits and pieces put together to really create these at volume. Very, very interesting. We've got a couple other guests later in the week. As always, see you tomorrow. Tell your friends, wolf.co/sign up. That's wolf with 2 O's.co/sign up. Thank you very much.